Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra. Well, this is a show where we help you understand the closing action on the D Street. But it's panned out to be another volatile day of trade. Remember, this is the last trading week for the financial year 2024 and volatility has only been escalating. On the Nifty, we are seeing that the Nifty is now testing the 22,000 mark, now down about 94 odd points in trade. In contrast, it's the mid caps that have actually risen from the low point of the day, and you can see near a day's high kind of a move on the Nifty Mid Cap 100 Index, up about 0.8% in trade. So the benchmark indices, the action is pretty low, but the broader markets, they've actually recovered from the lowest point of the day. You can actually see there's a stark recovery from the morning trade, but we had seen a sharp dip coming in on both these indices. Sectorally as well, if we see, there are some of the sectors that have bounced back sharply in trade. So the realty space is doing well. 0.9% of a move can be seen on this one. You also see the oil and gas index that's up by 0.7%. Consumer durables index that's up half odd percent. Metals and healthcare indices are also doing well. On the other hand, it's the Nifty Bank that's really not participating in trade. And you do see that the private banks that are down by about 0.6%, PSU banks are flat with a negative bias, financial services are down by about 0.4% in trade right now. So these are some of the sectors that are how they are moving at this point in time. But several of the stocks that are actually buzzing in trade. Let's pull up some of the stocks that are actually moving up pretty sharply. OFSS, Oracle Financial Services, very smart move, about 6 odd percent can be seen on this one. Muthoot Finance, again another 5-6% of a move can be seen on this one too. You also have some of the pharma names that are up and about. Mankind Pharma, amid the big block deals that are taking place, you can look at that one. That is under pressure. Ajanta Pharma, but it's recovered from the day's low point for sure. Ajanta Pharma is up and about. Biocon is doing well in trade. Remember, Biocon is also one stock that we did speak about in the morning trading session, and one of our guests also gave a recommendation on Biocon too. So it's now come up to the day's high level. From the metals pack, Hind Copper is another stock that's actually been doing very well in trade. Indigo, of course, that's the stock that we will be focusing on. It's moved up very smartly. Over 6.5% move can be seen on this one. And recently, there's also been a big block deal that's taken place. DMart is doing well as well. And you also have stocks like Gujarat Pipavav also doing very well in trade. So these are some of the stocks that I was spotting before we started off the show. But time to welcome our guest on the show. I'm now joined by Prashanth Tapse, Research Analyst and Senior Vice President Research at Mehta Equities. Prashanth, good afternoon. Warm welcome to you to Business Today Television and on to Market Today as well. Tell us what's the sense that you have as far as the markets are concerned. Are you also just like, on a wait and watch mode till the time FY24 end, volatility really passes by, and we do look at the new financial year starting off with another big bang? How would your expectations be on the markets going forward?
I think in the large cap sector, the markets are very much dull and very much flat. I think a lot of people are doing some profit booking and they are churning their portfolio to just end their financial year. And I think 27th would be the last trading session for this financial expiry. So, but overall, there is a good sign of seen in the mid cap index. It has sharply recovered from the low. That means fresh money is again coming back to mid cap, but majorly focused in PSU as a sector, be it bank or be it any railway or be it in the defense segment. I think PSU is the theme what investor is looking for and investing a lot in the current market.
Okay, so do tell us any particular sectors or stocks that you're keeping your keen eye on before we discuss further the stocks which are in momentum.
I think real estate stocks and sector is in highlight today. I think we are focused more on that. Lodha Developers would be the stock which we are recommending our clients. And I think there is a good momentum seen in the month-on-month business output. So I think this stock can do 1,300 rupees in coming few months. So this is the stock which you are looking for.
Okay, macro tech developers, that's where you are keeping a keen eye out on as well. All right, so that's as far as the realty space is concerned. But let me ask you on Indigo first, since that's the top mover in the F&O space, of course. And just now we are seeing that 0.02% of equity has exchanged hands, and which means 29 crore shares have exchanged, or 29 crore rupees worth of 85,000 odd shares have actually exchanged hands. Somewhere to the tune of 3484 rupees is the price at which this block deal has happened, 6.3% higher, and the stock has been in focus right from the morning trade when we did see the brokerage houses reports giving bullish targets on this stock of 4,000 plus, and talking about how the stock and the company is well poised to benefit from the growth in the Indian aviation space as well. And this all is coming after the con call that recently Indigo has held. What's your own view on Indigo, and where do we go see that stock going forward from here?
I think 2024, the airline sector would be highly focused on the back of more international tours, and international people are traveling more in India with respect to tourism and all. So I think Indigo is the best player to play in this with 60-65% market share. And yesterday they have come out with an analyst presentation which says the domestic passenger growth will be seen with a lighter double-digit growth, which is a great and a very optimistic view from the management. And on the block deal, again, every 3 to 6 months, the management comes with a block deal, and it's an opportunity for a investor to accumulate this stock. Even I am very much positive on the stock, the target of 3,800 in a very shorter to medium term perspective.
Okay, so that's as far as Indigo is concerned. Let's again look at some of the big other movers at this point in time. So on the Nifty, it's Bajaj Finance that sprung up, so it's positive in trade right now. You also have stocks like Hindalco, L&T doing well at this point in time. But the stocks that are actually dragging the markets, heavyweights like Infosys, HDFC Bank, Reliance Industries, Maruti, ICICI Bank, they are lying low at this point in time, especially when it comes to banking names, like large cap banking names. So what is your entire view right now? What is stopping them from really pull up and perform from the front foot?
On the private banking space, I am very much neutral to negative as of now, because a lot of money is coming into share market and markets and trading and investments. So I think they are very difficult to raise their deposits, be it HDFC Bank, be it ICICI, or be it the Axis Bank. So I think that is the major concern why the private banks under pressure. But very much positive on the PSU banks, that the on Bank of Baroda, SBI Bank, they are getting a lot of traction towards the long-term growth. And I think PSU as a theme, that would be a safer side bet for an investors to be invested in the PSU stocks. But overall banking sector, I think that would be seeing some kind of pressure right now, and we have to wait for the Q4 numbers, which will going to start in next week.
Okay, fair enough. So that's the view coming in on the banking space at large. What about the broader markets? Prashanth, are you looking at this space closely? We've seen a stellar rally before, from the time that SEBI chairperson really gave her views, and that led to all the volatility. Again, there is some effort coming back from the bulls in the mid and the small cap space to come back after the recent correction. What is your own sense in this broader market space? Are you looking at a few stocks or sectors where you're building up after this consolidation?
I think after a fall of 25 to 30% in a fundamentally good stocks in any sectors, mid cap and small cap, it's a good opportunity. One should again come back to invest in these stocks. I think the valuations are very much better right now, looking at their earning growth for next 12 months. So I think mid cap is almost the worst is gone for them, and I think fundamentally strong companies one should look at. We are looking good for some companies like Usha Martin, Cello. These stocks are looking good for short term.
Okay, so that's the view coming in as far as the broader markets are also concerned. Let's again look at some of the other stocks that are moving in trade. Adani Ports, that's the one that is in focus. It's now at 2% higher in trade, and of course there has been news flow regarding this one as well. That's been leading the stock to move higher. It's acquired 95% of Odisha's Gopalpur port from SP Group for 3,080 crores. Now moving to the near to the high point of the day again. Anything specific that you're looking at into Adani Ports, and should one track this move for a long term?
I think in the Adani Group, Adani Port is the best in class business model with cash rich business model. they are doing great in terms of their cash flows. So the recent news which you just mentioned with respect to acquisition of a port, which will add value to the cash flow going forward. So I think for a investor who is looking for long term into that Adani Group stocks, port would be the best in class business model to invest in. For me, a target of trading target of 1400 and investing target of 1600 can be seen in next 12 months.
Fair enough. Let's also welcome our other guest on the show now. Time to welcome Vaishali Parekh, AVP Technical Research at Prabhudas Leeladhar. Vaishali, very good afternoon and good to have you with us on Business Today. Of course, the benchmark indices, there is nothing to really look at right now. Broader markets have bounced back. Several sectors are trying to pull up after those morning trades that was, very tepid. But how are you looking at the market setup overall? Of course, we will be looking at positions being stabilized at the end of fiscal year. This entire week, this is just a 3-day working week. How would you really look at the markets right now?
Very good afternoon. So actually, yes, market has begun on a sideways move and it is continuing to do so. So I would say that yes, right now we are seeing Nifty going below 22,000. So it could be quite likely that we would be approaching the weekly support of 21,800. And likewise, even Bank Nifty, if you go to see, it's not sustaining at higher levels. We are right now 300 points down. So I think prominent support lies at 45,800. So if we see some further sell-off, I think these are the levels that one should watch for.
Okay, fair enough. How would you really look at the lackluster move on the heavyweight counters like Reliance Industries? What's really happening here? It's not been really, doing much over the last few trading sessions, Vaishali.
So I would say Reliance Industries, of course, supported the market some time back, and currently it's just going through consolidation. I would still maintain that yes, one should consider this holding, or at least with a support of 25,800. I mean, the near-term support also comes to around 27,000 levels. So as long as these support levels are held on, 2750 and the nearest support is 2800. So I would be a bit conservative. 2750 should be the support. And if we see the stock moving above 2950, it's back on track for a target of 3100 to 3200.
Okay. Any particular two stock ideas that you've been tracking? Anything that you'd like to highlight for our viewers?
So I think last week we did speak about Larsen. So this is one stock that I continuously like, and today also it's doing very well. So I would say it's a buy at every dip with 3,300 as a support level, and we would be looking at a target of 4,000 to 4,200. The other stock now which I like, I think the chemical stocks are getting a bit better. So I would now look at Aarti Industries. So if we see a good close at around 660 levels, then I think this stock is ready to go towards 680 to 700. So these two stocks I do like right now.
Okay, L&T and Aarti Industries, L&T for 4,200 and Aarti Industries for a target of 700 is what Vaishali is looking at. Vaishali, let me take up some of the stocks that are buzzing in trade with you. Dr. Lal Path Labs, what do you think is behind this stunning move in the F&O space? 6.5% higher and it's now topping the charts in the F&O space. Is this a move that one should track, or do you think this rally may not have that much of a sustenance?
Well, so this is one such candle. So let's see tomorrow how it progresses. Do we see a follow-up buying? Do we go above the high? Then yes, I think the stock is ready to touch at least 2,400 levels for now. That would act as a resistance. Above that, we can renew the levels, but for now, 2,400.
2,400 for now. It could move up to 2,400. What about Zomato? That stock has hit a new record high, and anything that strikes you on the stock? This stock has been doing well over the last few days. In fact, it's been constantly moving up. If we look at, let's pull up the long-term charts of Zomato, 1 week, 1 month, and then we'll be able to trace a better move for Zomato. So let's look at the last 1 week. Very strong move, 15.5% move is what we've seen. Last 1 month, the stock is inched up again 11% and so entire move has really come in over the last 1 week. Past 6 months, of course, 80% of a surge is what we have seen. A lot of brokerage houses have been talking about positively on the stock to 182 right now on Zomato. Do you think it's looking too overheated because of the strong move over the last few days, or do you think there is much more to this now?
I would say volume has been consistently on a good high, and we are seeing that this stock also is a new all-time high category. So I would say that yes, now not a fresh buying opportunity, but to those who are already holding, do continue holding this with a stop loss of 165 because I see the stock in times to come going towards 195 to 1.
195 odd or so is what you see the stock really moving up to. We were talking about Dr. Lal Path Labs. A lot of these laboratory stocks are pulling up. So Alchem Laboratories is now 5% higher in trade. A lot of pharma names, especially the mid and the small caps pharma names, also picking up. Is this a space you're closely watching, Vaishali? And do you think there is more to just one or two names here?
Well, I would say that not much really. I mean, I would just play the momentum. That's it.
Okay, let's look at a few stocks that are actually doing well in the mid cap space. Then, since that's recovered very sharply from the day's low, so Max Financial is up by 5 odd percent. You also have stocks like PVP Ventures that's been constantly on the up move. Finolex Industries that's moved up as well. Then you also have stocks like Finolex Cables that's up 7.8 percent. Thermax has moved up 6 percent. Electrocast is moving up as well in trade. Sharp moves coming in on the mid cap space. Let me try and spot some other names too from the mid cap basket. Torrent Power, of course, very strong move on this one. Almost 8% of a move has come in. Max Healthcare is also moving up from the pharma healthcare space that we've been talking about. Anything specific from the mid cap space that you're tracking closely, Vaishali?
So I do like you just spoke about Torrent Power, right? So
Yeah.
Torrent Power, Max Health, both these stocks are to my liking, and I think we saw. Let's talk about Max Health to start with. One moment, I'll just open the chart properly. Yes, so we are at 782. I'm talking about Max Health. So we see that overall trend is quite intact and a long consolidation with 720 as support and today's candle with a marginal high volume. I think this stock is ready for a takeoff, but for this, it needs to cross 800 levels to start with. So if once that is done and if we sustain above 800, I think the stock is ready to go towards 950,000 levels. So that's
Oh,
my
okay.
on
Okay.
Max Health.
Okay,
Yes.
Max Healthcare, a very strong conviction from Vaishali coming in. Once it crosses 800, it could also be looking forward to 900, 1000 kind of levels. A very strong move in the just the last few minutes is what you've seen. It's now trading at the day's high level as well. 5.4% higher in trade. Very, very strong momentum on Max Healthcare. Keep on track on that one. Let's also get Prashanth into the conversation. And Prashanth, your views on Max Healthcare, do you also believe this stock has a potential for a long-term run?
I think yes, with a target of 850 on a technical basis, I am very much positive on this stock. As technically 760, 750 would be a level for a traders to have a stop losses. But yes, the momentum is very strong, and I think 850 can be seen on a very near-term basis.
850 could be seen in the near to medium term basis. That's the recommendation coming in on Max Healthcare. So both our guests really positive on Max Healthcare. So keep an eye out on this one as well. The other space, Prashant, that's passing is the railway space, especially stocks like RVNL that have jumped up very smartly, 5.5%. Of course, this entire space, after having run up pretty sharply, was feeling tired, exhausted, and it lied low for some point in time. But again, we're looking at order flows coming in, new tie-ups coming in the case of RVNL, there's the tie-up with Airports Authority of India that's pulled up this stock higher today. Your own sense, should one be tracking this fresh move?
I think yes, railway and defense would be the sector one should focus and be invested. The way how the order books have been grown from last 6 months to 12 months, I think the same way even earnings will be coming down in the Q4 numbers as well as the FY25 numbers. So I think that the earnings are the basic thing one should look at in while investing in PSU stocks, and railway has always been the greater space to have a long-term view. For with 260 at current price, I think 300 can be a near-term 3 to 6 months view target with a stop loss of 244 nearby that. So I think railway stocks, IRFC and Railway Vikas, these two stocks should be for long-term holding.
Okay, fair enough. So that's the view coming in on the railway stocks. Thanks a lot, Prashanth, for being with us on the show and discussing all these stock ideas with us. We'll take a very quick break, viewers, and when we return, we will continue our conversation with Vaishali on the other side on the specific stocks and the strategies on the index level that you need to follow going forward.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and I'm in conversation with Vaishali Parikh of Prabhudas Leeladhar to help us navigate through the current set of markets, which has been pretty volatile all through the last week. In fact, this entire series of March has seen the Nifty just move up about 100 odd points, albeit a lot of volatility has really taken place. And now we're inching towards the financial year close, the series close, and the quarterly close as well. And therefore, you do see that the benchmark indices have been constantly fighting some kind of pressure and volatility. Vaishali, which are the other segments that look attractive to you in the markets, albeit this kind of choppiness? Where should one be really looking in for a hedge?
So have a look at even power stocks. So why not? I mean, we have always been talking about Tata Power. So one of the
Yeah.
stocks that I like. And defensive stock, of course, I think ITC is still the favorite as far as the defensive stock is concerned. Because we've seen a good run up coming in Indigo. We've seen a good run up coming in Larsen. But having said that, I don't mean to say that we are done with the rally, but attractive levels, I would say that now time to look into the chemical sector. So Aarti Industries is one of them, which is attempting a breakout. ITC is another good stock. So these are the stocks that I would be looking at for now. And of course, the chemical sector, as I'm saying, Aarti, Naveen Fluorine, they all look quite attractive for a bounce back from here.
Okay, Aarti, or especially the chemical space looks attractive to you at this point in time. We'll keep a keen eye out on all of these as well. The other key point that I wanted to discuss with you in terms of specific stocks would be Gujarat Pipavav, 10% higher now, 217. How do you see this one? Since you did talk about some of the segments that you're looking at, is logistics kind of spaces, shipping kind of spaces. Do these interest you?
Definitely. So Gujarat Pipavav has been on our radar since quite some time, and we have been recommending this to our clients. Today also, you see exceptionally high volume, and it's given a breakout. It's pretty much there at 218. So once we sustain above that, I think this stock is ready for the next target of 250, 260. So Gujarat Pipavav, we have a positive view to be bought at every decline, and 200 acts as a crucial support level.
Okay, so positive view on Gujarat Pipavav coming in. So keep an eye out on this one as well. Let's again look at some of the PSU stocks now. That's the space that we haven't yet touched upon. But a lot of move coming in again from those PSU stocks from the oil and gas basket. So Oil India is up in trade, IOC is up in trade, BPCL is up in trade. Then you also have GAIL that's up in trade as well. Some of these stocks are buzzing in action from the oil and gas basket. Anything that interests you? ONGC is also buzzing, about 1% higher in trade. Anything that interests you, Vaishali?
Yes, many of these stocks. So ONGC is one of the stocks which has been holding on to its trend. So I would say yes, right now we are seeing a brief consolidation. So 250 would act as a crucial support and let ONGC move past 272. So once it's above 272, I think it's ready for a target of 300. So ONGC we are positive on. We are also positive on GAIL, that is Gas Authority of India. Well, it would be a trading target. We would be now saying, I mean, it could be a good buy even at these levels. And I think target to be seen would be 190 from here on. That's the trading target. And as far as the OMCs are concerned, we saw a good momentum setting in the morning, and
Hmm.
technically also once again well placed. So we have recommended BPCL. 580 acts as a crucial support from here on. And once the stock moves past 610, I think it's ready for a target of 630 to 640 from it.
Okay, 630 to 640. We have to keep an eye out on BPCL now and HPCL as well. So keep an eye out on all of these stocks. Let's again look at some of the stocks from the realty pack, where Shali, this index is really soaring smartly, 1.7% higher in trade. It's bounced back very, very strongly from the day's low point. It started off at the day's low point and it's now closing in on the highest point of the day. So Phoenix Mills is up 7%, Prestige Estates is up 5%, Oberoi Realty, Mahindra Life Spaces, all of them moving up, DLF Macrotech, slight gains on that one as well. But what's interesting in the real estate space? Would you be keen on tracking this move?
So I would, one of the stocks that in the cash category is Suntech, which I have mentioned earlier also. That has not yet shown good strength so far. It's just gradually coming out. So I would say that a good fresh entry would be Suntech Realty. But we are looking at Shobha also, Shobha Prestige. They all are in a good trend. So I think one should continue holding. And so also is the case with the frontline stocks like DLF and Godrej Properties. Those are also looking quite positive because if you look at the long-term charts, I mean, they have still a lot of upside potential. So I would say that yes, it's a hold.
Okay, fair enough. Parsvanath Developers, that's the other one that's moved up very smartly, about 10% higher in trade from the small cap and the mid cap spaces. So that's where all the action is. Let me also bring out a few names for all our viewers that are buzzing, especially from the broadest market, index. Imami Realty, that's another one that's moved up smartly in trade today, about 9.9% higher in trade. So some of these mid cap real estate names, they are actually doing very well. Apart from this, let's again look at some of the stocks. So you do have stocks like Skipper Limited. We hardly talk about this one, 8% higher in trade. Then you do have stocks like Finolex Cables, that's moved up smartly, 9.5% higher in trade. We do have stocks like we discussed some of them already. Indocount Industries, that's up 7% already. And apart from this, are there any other stocks? Discussed Torrent Power, Time Technoplast, that's moving up too. Anything from this list of broadest market index movers that you like, Vaishali?
So Time Technoplast, it gave a breakout in the afternoon, and I think this still looks very good. I would not say a good buy. A good buy would be still Indocount. I think this stock is ready for. It's statically showing a good rounding pattern. So I think one can buy this with today's low, that is 320 as a stop loss. Because once the stock moves past 365, it's ready for a target of 400 and so on. So I would say buying opportunity comes in Indocount, but not on the other one.
Okay, fair enough. Let's again look at some of the stocks that are moving in the F&O space. Hindustan Aeronautics, that caught my attention. It's up now 4% in the F&O space. From the defense stocks, where are you keeping a keen eye out on? Vaishali, is HAL on your radar?
Yes, definitely. HAL, BEL, BHEL, these are all the stocks that we are looking at. And in the cash counter, we are looking at Zentech. Data patterns today, once again, is getting into momentum. So all these stocks look pretty good still now.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on the defense stocks and where Vaishali is placing her bets on currently. Let's also discuss some of the other segments then. Let's discuss autos, for example. The last week it was all about the action in the auto space, stocks like Maruti, Tata Motors, even the two-wheeler stocks, Eicher, Hero Moto, TVS, they were all bouncing back in trade. How are you tracing the move this time around in this week, so to speak?
So in this week, I think the two stocks that come to my mind, one is TVS Motors. So we saw there was a bit of a lull with 2020 as support. This stock is bouncing back. So this stock looks quite okay to me. Besides this, Ashok Leyland, which has been quite a laggard, and it is now trying to show some strength. So I would not rule out, making a trading strategy on Ashok Leyland also.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the auto space is concerned. Anything in the auto ancillary basket that you're looking at very positively?
So one is Jamna Auto, which looks very good even now. Well, there are a couple of stocks which are looking quite good, technically well placed. One is GNA Auto Excel. So GNA Excel right now at 393 level. So it's showing signs of uh, done with correction and ready for a bounce. And I think it's a limited, favorable risk reward ratio. I would say with 380 as stop loss, if this view goes right, this stock can go towards 450. So one is Jamna Auto, one is GNA Axles.
Okay, Jamna Auto and GNA Axles is what you need to keep a keen eye out on. Remember, for GNA Axles, currently the stock is hovering around 393. Its 52-week low is 365. Its 52-week high is 583. So perhaps what Vaishali is trying to say is that consolidation too far too much done, and the stock could be getting ready for a bounce now. So keep a keen eye out on this one as well. Apart from this, let's again now it's 322. Vaishali, why don't you give us one or two names for BTST or STBT trades first?
So, well, one would be Pidilite now that it comes to buy this. It's already getting into momentum and in a new price high. So, Pidilite with a stop loss of 2980 and looking for a target of 3050. So, one is Pidilite that I would like to consider, and the other one, which I have already given to my clients, is India Cement. So, India Cement also, I mean, making double bottom and showing strength today. Volume is also pretty okay. So, 204 would be the stop loss and look for a target of 214.
Okay, so Pidilite and India Cements, that's where you need to focus on currently. You know, Vaishali, like we always mention, you're the one who talks about something and that stock starts to move. You were talking about Aarti Industries and the entire chemical space. Tata Chemicals has shot up 4% higher in trade as well. So the chemical stock could be just getting ready for, next leg up, and we'll continue to look at all of these stocks because Vaishali has now mentioned it's the chemical stocks that she is watching very, very closely as well. So very strong move coming in across the board now. As far as the broader markets are concerned, they are the ones that are recovering pretty sharply, and many of those stocks are actually pulling up from various sectors, be it railways, defense, oil and gas, be it realty. Let's also discuss consumer durables. Usually we avoid this one because it's a volatile space. Voltas is up in trade 3%. Amber Enterprises is moving up. Dixon Technologies, once a big mover, then it's fell into a lull zone. You also have Havells and Polycab and Phenolix Cables. So some of these consumer durable companies are showing some strength. Anything that interests you from the consumer durables basket that you'd like to track, Vaishali?
So, well, we do like Voltas. Voltas has been our stock, which we have been time and again recommending. Today also, it got into new round of momentum, seeing a lot of strength. So, I think this stock is ready for a target of 1200 levels, 1200 and be perhaps even higher. So, with today's lowest stop loss, even Havells is getting into good momentum. So, these are the stocks that I would be focusing on.
Okay, so from consumer durables, let's stay with the consumption theme and talk about retail space. D-Mart is one stock that I wanted to discuss with you, Vaishali. It's moved up 4.6% higher in trade, but what's even positive is last 1 week's move. It'll show you 13% of an upside for Avenue Supermarts. It's now above 4500, 4503. Remember, it touched a 52-week high of 4509 in trade today, and all of this is after last week we did see some brokerage houses giving higher targets, and from that time the stock has been constantly on the upmove. In fact, DMart was also one stock that was mentioned by Chandan Taparia in a Holi special edition as well, and since that time the stock has been on the move as well. Vaishali, your own thoughts on Avenue Supermarts?
Yes, I do totally agree. It's getting better by each move. So I would say now I'm looking at the weekly chart. So 3900 acts as a crucial support. This stock is ready. I mean, I'm seeing the weekly chart and all, and after giving a breakout about 3900, currently it is at 4500 levels. I think this stock is ready for further high targets of 4800 to 5000 levels. So it's a buy at every decline with 3900 as your support.
Okay, a lot of stocks we've already discussed, so time now. We're just 5 minutes away from the day's close. Let's start preparing for tomorrow. It'll be Wednesday. Of course, we will see, this is just a day prior to the expiry on the Nifty as well. And this week itself, I think the Nifty Bank's expiry is also shifted. Is it, Vaishali? If you could give me some clarity on that. And how would you give investors a view as to how should one strategize?
So I would say, well, Bank Nifty is not so very convincing right now. I mean, just maintain the support of 45,800. It's a very narrow range, and 47,000 acts as a crucial resistance. So I would say that one has to buy. It's better we buy near the support levels or on a breakout. So I would say wait and watch.
Okay, and on the Nifty?
Nifty also 22,000. So I would say 21,800 acts as a support on a weekly basis. That is the level to watch for a buying strategy.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thanks a lot, Vaishali, for being with us on this very special edition. And it's always a pleasure to host you to get all those wonderful stock ideas that you share with all our viewers. Many thanks for being with us, and we'll get you back on the show very soon. Let's quickly now look at winding up the session. Remember, it's turned out to be a red day for the benchmark indices and the major indices like Nifty, Sensex and the Nifty Bank. 0.5% lower for the Nifty Bank. That's where the pain emerged, especially the large cap banks like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank. They have remained on the back foot. And of course, apart from it, heavyweight from Nifty like Reliance Industries, that's really not participated. And some of those IT names like Infosys that have dragged as well on the markets in trade today. Bharti Airtel is down by 2%. Remember, we are now going to be looking at the stock very keenly, even though there is no sell-off by Bharti Airtel, but its subsidiary is going to be listing very soon, and it's coming up with the IPO in the first week of April, the first one in FY25. So we'll continue to keep an eye out on that. In case you want to know more about it, I've done a separate video on Bharti Hexacom's IPO today, so please do go out on the page to check that video out in case you're interested in knowing about this IPO. Apart from this, Wipro was down in trade, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Divi's Laboratories, Asian Paints, Tata Consumer Products, Sun Pharma. The heavyweight counters, SBI, all of these really dragged the market sentiments in trade today. What has done well, on the other hand, is Bajaj Finance, 2.4% higher in trade. That's the one that's managed to pull up or stem the losses for the financial services index. Hindalco was up and about. Adani Ports, Britannia, NTPC, L&T, BPCL, Coal India, the other big movers on the Nifty today. As far as the F&O space is concerned, clearly some of the stocks that hog the limelight. Dr. Lal Path Labs, we discussed, 6.5% higher, top mover on that one. Indigo, 6% higher. You had Indus Towers that was up 6%, Hindustan Copper, Alchem Laboratories, Oracle Financial Services Software also moved up sharply, and Tata Chemicals that suddenly sprung up into the F&O space, 4.5% higher. And this is when we were discussing with Vaishali the entire chemicals space as well. Sectorally, it was a divided action. Realty, oil and gas, metals, healthcare, PSU banks, autos managed to pull themselves into the green along with the broader markets, mid and the small caps. What did not do well? IT was down 0.5%. Nifty Bank 0.5% down. You also had financial services and FMCG dragging the index as well lower. Again, when we talk about the PSU stocks, Oil India, HAL, GAIL, NTPC, BPCL, PFC, ONGC, Steel Authority, BHEL, these were the kind of stocks, and of course IRCTC and IRFC and RVNL, those were the kind of stocks that actually did well in the markets today. Broader markets, like I told you, mid caps inching towards the high point of the day. 1% higher is what they are closing in at. Also, 0.4% of a surge on the small caps. So between the broader market indices, it was the mid caps that actually tried to perform better in trade. And now, when we look at the Nifty, thankfully so, it did test 22,000 mark, but it sprung up back again in the last minute of trade. 75 points lower in trade is what it is ending at on the Nifty, but 22,000 mark is clearly protected as of now. What we'll do, viewers, is we'll wind up this special edition for you, but do stick around onto Business Today TV as we continue to get you all those things that are developing in the stock markets and that need your attention as a stock market investor. So do stay tuned as a lot more follows suit.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.